The Pagans began pushing their way through the front door, armed with everything from axe handles to Uzis, to metal pipes and knives. Detective Smith noticed a Hell's Angel preparing to defend himself.
He produces a small, semi-automatic pistol.
The scene erupted into a full-scale war.
When the Pagans go to take care of business, they go to take care of business. Repercussions don't matter. Results don't matter. It's brotherhood.
The Pagans pride themselves in being the most violent motorcycle gang in the U.S. These nomadic bikers spread their terror across the Northeast, intimidating anyone who stands in their way.
In their culture, they feel whatever they do is correct because that's what's been instilled in them. If they kill someone, they're killing someone because they felt it was appropriate, because that person had done something against the organization, something against the club.
As far as citizens go, you're above them. As far as guys in other clubs go, you're above them.
The Pagans' secret code demands that members must be willing to die for each other. No questions asked.
If you don't give a then you're the right man for the job.
This combination of brute force and brotherhood has defined the Pagans from the gang's inception. The origins of the club are unclear to outsiders. Some say it started in 1959 in Maryland and claim it was geared to racing motorcycles. The focus didn't last.
When we talk about outlaw motorcycle groups, we say gang. While they may have started in the 50s and the 60s as riding clubs, they did progress into traditional organized crime.
For the Pagans, the change took place in the mid-1960s under the club's second president, Fred "Dutch" Burhans. Members credit him with making the Pagans what they are today.
The president when I started was a guy named Dutch Burns. His policy was kill them all.
Dutch expanded the club, founding a half-dozen chapters in Virginia and Maryland. The early members wore swastikas to scare people, but claim racism was never a part of the Pagan code.
At one point I wore a swastika. It's the power of fear. It's part of getting the public's attention. Don't get me wrong, there's racist in the Pagans, there's racist everywhere.
During the early 1970s, Jimmy D and his brothers loved nothing more than riding, partying, and sleeping with as many women as possible.
If there wasn't group sex, I never would have joined the Pagans. It was one big orgy. Everybody get naked and jump in a pile.
The Pagans, led by Dutch, expanded north into Pennsylvania and forged an alliance with another outlaw biker gang known for violence, the Sons of Satan. The club's leader was John Vernon Marin, aka Satan. Then, in 1975, Dutch was shot and killed in a domestic dispute in Virginia. Satan folded his gang into the Pagans, and Philadelphia became their headquarters as they slowly took over the city.
There was a club called the Dragons. There was a club called the Warlocks, the Breed, the Wheels of Soul, the Thunder Guards. These were all clubs in Philadelphia. The Pagans shut them all down.
The Pagans' violent nature took root, and they became known for their quick tempers.
You'd be in a bar and one of your boys will get into some shit and you don't know what it's about. You're that and you take care of it.
To finance their way of life, the gang got into the drug trade, focusing on methamphetamine.
The Pagans control the meth in Philly, always have, always will.
Jimmy D knew meth was the key to the gang's continued growth. As evidenced by this surveillance photo, taken of him dealing just 2 weeks after his initiation.
Meth is the key drug of most motorcycle gangs, most bikers. It keeps you up, makes you party longer, makes you ride longer.
The gang revered those running the drug trade, but the true power lay with the man behind the scenes.
The pagans all worshipped them, looked up to them. What they said went. But the guy behind them was the cooker. The guy who made the meth called all the shots.
The Pagans' cooker was an outsider who they called a citizen.
Before me, the club dealt with citizens, non-club members. They were the ones making the meth, actually mob guys. I learned off of a guy named Rock and Roll. He was a meth cooker. He was hooked up with the mob. He was at the time the best.
Jimmy D knew it was time to make his move.
I saw where I wanted to go. I just started climbing. I went up to be from a nickel and dime dealer to an ounce dealer to a half a pound dealer to a pound dealer to a cooker.
In 1979, Jimmy D became the Pagans' Philly cooker.
We made Pagan purple. All the meth I cooked was purple.
The purple is meth at its purest. To optimize profit, the Pagans' board of directors, known as the Mother Club, cut the drug before selling it on the streets.
I cooked the meth, Mother Club got the pure meth. Then Mother Club would cut the drugs as they felt and distribute it through their presidents, which went through the rest of the chapters and on down the line. It went from purple to dark pink to light pink to pure white, because cut is white. And every time you cut it, it got lighter and lighter and lighter.
The Pagans' secretive ways meant that only Jimmy D, the cooker, knew just how pure the drug was and what it was cut with.
Mannitol, it's a baby laxative. And the best part is, people used to do a line, snort a line of meth and have to go to the bathroom. And when they went to the bathroom, they would come out and go, man, that's good stuff, I had to go to the bathroom. Little did they know it was because they were doing baby laxative.
The Pagans cornered the meth trade in Philly. It fueled the gang's growth up and down the East Coast. Due to the gang's oath of secrecy, it's difficult to put exact numbers on the Pagans' size. At the height of their power, the Pagans had 900 members and 44 chapters spread from Pennsylvania to South Carolina, making it the nation's 4th largest motorcycle club. With the size came inevitable conflict with other big outlaw clubs, especially their arch rival, the Hells Angels.
The Hells Angels are, the Mercedes of the outlaw biker world.
The Hells Angels is probably the top outlaw motorcycle gang in the United States. It's one of the largest, if not the largest, and the Pagans being one of the strongest. But in terms of structure and the criminality that they do, they're pretty much equal there.
The Hells Angels were used to getting their way, but found the Pagans could care less. No matter how outnumbered the gang was, they would always throw down.
If there's Hells Angels and Pagans, they're gonna fight. If it's just Pagans and Pagans, sooner or later, one of these two guys is gonna wind up getting into a fight with each other. So we just like to fight.
The Pagans didn't stop at taking on other motorcycle gangs. In 1981,